Hello everybody, today I'm going to be tying a Sparkle Wing RS2. Now, this is sort of the guide fly version, the simplified version for production tying. The recipe and the idea for this came out of Pat Dorsey's tying and fishing tailwater flies. But it's a really great pattern, and I find working with the microfibbits on the original pattern to be a pain in the butt. And this, I can tie 3 in the time that it would take me to tie 1 this way. So it's an RS2, super effective. You can throw a bead on it if you want to. So yeah, let's get into it. For the hook, I'm using a Tiemco 101 in a size 20. And for thread, I'm using some 8/0 uni thread in Rusty Dun. And that's just kind of an Adams gray color. So starting off, just attach your thread right behind the eye and grab your scissors. And the first thing we're going to do is we're just going to advance our thread back to the bend. And once we get back there, we're going to grab some saddle hackle. You could use hen if you wanted to, but I'm going to use some rooster saddle. Doesn't need to be the highest quality. But you're just going to want a nice little bunch. Kind of stacked up in your fingertips there. And then what you can do is you can put a loose wrap on top, and a second one, and then you can pick these up and go underneath. And then what you can do is you can pull these fibers through that pinch wrap until you have just the right amount. I like a little bit less than a shank length, so that's still a little bit long. And once you get the right amount, you can just secure those fibers down. As you can see, I have a fair little clump, but not too many there. Pretty short little bunch. And then I'm going to take all those butt ends and clip them off. Right there. And then what we will do is we will grab some super fine dubbing. This is in Adams Gray. You can obviously use whatever color you want. This is just a template. It's a super interchangeable fly as far as colors go. So you want just this very small pinch. That's even too much. We're going to go about that much, just the thinnest little wisp. And we're going to dub that onto our thread. And then I'm going to leave a little bit of room in between where I dubbed it and where it's going onto the hook, because I'm going to take my thread back to the bend before I begin dubbing that body. And especially with superfine, you can always add more, but you can't really take it off your hook, or off your thread, I mean, so go slowly, just adding a little bit at a time. I'm going to add a little bit more, just trying to get up to about the 60-70% mark, and maybe creating a little bit of a taper, but especially in the smaller sizes, not really worrying about it. So once we get up here, we can grab some Glamour Madura. And this is particularly the part that was influenced by Pat Dorsey, because this is the material he uses on his top secret midge. I find it easier to work with than the flat sparkle braid that is used for a sparkling RS2. So yeah, I just find it adds less bulk to the fly, which on this fly particularly is a saving grace because it can get real busy behind the eye here in a second. So just make sure you got a flush end to that Glamour Madura, clipping it off. And then what we can do is we can take a loose wrap on top and then just pull all those fibers through until we have just the right amount. And then we can cover those up and bring that back onto our shank. And then we are going to grab some more superfine dubbing. I like to leave the wing long instrument at the end. So grab some more superfine dubbing. Once again, less than you think you need. However, you are trying to create a little bit of a thorax on this section, so it's okay to have a little bit of a taper. And once we get up there, you're going to grab your whip finish tool and take a few wraps, and seating that knot and clipping your thread. Now what we can do is we can trim that wing, and I usually like to fold it over itself and take a nice square cut, and it usually extends right to the back of the shank there. But yeah, super neat. I find it to be much quicker and much cleaner compared to having the microfibbits and the flat sparkle braid included in, I believe, Churchill's Sparkle Wing RS2. So, super effective. Obviously, super famous. It was developed along the South Platte, and it fishes great during Baetis hatches. You can tie it in different color variations to imitate different mayfly hatches, but blue-winged olives are definitely its intended purpose. If you have trout kind of rising right in the surface film, or, you know, kind of just sweeping back and forth in the water column below the surface, this is a great fly to grease your leader with and just kind of fish it as a dry fly below the surface, so an emerger sitting right there in the water column. So really basic, but incredibly versatile and super effective. So I want to thank all you guys for watching this video, and I hope you find success with this fly out on the water. Have a good one.